Welcome. Happy Saturday, everybody. We'll get started today in a child's pose. So pick your variation of child's pose. You can either have your knees really wide or bring them in underneath your heart. And whether your hips are down by your heels or up hovered over your knees, that's all right. Just try and find a connection of your forehead down into the mat. And as you continue to deepen your breath, maybe the hips descend lower and lower towards the heels, creating more of an elongated spine. More room in between each and every vertebrae, stretching out the long muscles that support us when we stand, when we sit, when we walk. And really try and deepen the breath, evening out every inhalation and exhalation. Relax your shoulders so that they sink deeper towards the mat. Maybe your hips relax with each and every exhalation. Typically, during an asana practice or the part of yoga where there's movement, our inhalations energize the body and gives us the power to keep going, where the exhales are more of a softening aspect. Moments where we can relax the parts of the body that don't need to be flexing at the time. And perhaps we think about those relaxing breaths as a way to take a step back and not feel or push ourselves too hard. Oftentimes when we want to challenge ourselves and push our edge, we might create extra or added tension in the shoulders. Maybe the shoulders lift up towards the ears, or the face, furrows in between the eyebrows. And that's creating stress within the body. So if we can soften those areas and learn to be comfortable while we are not comfortable, find that balance between effort and ease. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale to release. Inhale through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. On your next inhalation, Send the breath down into the low back, below the ribs, and feel the backs of the lungs expand up. Feel the kidneys expand up towards the sky. And then exhale, release, soften deeper towards the mat. Now inhale, send the breath into the mid-back. Really focus on feeling the back of the ribs expand up and outward away from one another. Fill up nice and big. And then exhale, release. Now inhale the breath up into the upper back, between the shoulder blades. Feel the shoulders expand away from one another. And then exhale, release. And now finally, send one big breath into the entirety of the backside body. Feel how much room you have to hold the capacity. And hold it at the top for a moment. Couple of counts here. And then exhale, release all of the air. Soften deeper in towards the mat. On your next inhale, start to walk the fingertips forward, so far forward that the wrists and the forearms lift up off of the mat. And feel for a nice pulling sensation in the sides of your body. And then start to walk the fingertips over towards the right side of the mat. Maybe the right fingertips walk off of the mat. And you can rock your forehead over towards the right. And anchor that left hip down towards the left heel. And breathe into the left side ribs. Keep the shoulder away from the right ear, the left ear. One more deep inhale here. And then on your exhale, walk the fingers back towards center and then over towards the left. Rocking onto the left side of the forehead. Take a deep inhale into the right side body. Feel for the right fingertips walking more forward, stretching forward while that right hip is anchored back towards the back side of your space. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, come back to center. Start to press your weight in towards the palms. Lift up the hips over the knees. And then make your way into a Sphinx pose. Grounding the tops of the thighs and front sides of the hips into the ground. Stack your shoulders over the elbows. And gaze is forward. Draw the shoulder blades closer towards one another. Feel for your chest pulling through the front sides of your arms. And just gaze is forward. Start to move the right ear towards that right shoulder. And don't try and push too hard. Just feel for an opening along the left side of your neck. And then start to drop the head and then lift it up just on the right side. Just trying to find a nice sweet spot. Maybe a nice opening along the left side of your jaw. Wherever you choose to stop, take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, drop the head down, tucking the chin, just so that you're bowing your head down. Inhale to lift the gaze up. Maybe eyes go up towards the ceiling. And exhale, drop the chin. Inhale, gaze comes up. And exhale, gaze comes back to center. Drop the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Remember to keep pressing into the mat with your toenails. And then start to create some movement on this side. Just nodding the chin up and down. And then stopping where it feels nice for you today. Take a full breath in, fill up the lungs, and then exhale, allow the head to roll down, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift the gaze. And exhale, bow the head. Inhale, lift. Exhale to bow the head. And then start to drop the chest down towards the ground, bringing the arms out wide, elbows stacked up over the wrists. If you have really tight shoulders, move the hands in front of the shoulders. But if you think you can keep the arms or the hands by at the same level of the shoulders, go ahead and do that. Spread the fingers really wide, pressing the fingertips in towards the ground. Stabilize through the wrists. And then on your inhale, start to press up, lifting through the chest. On your inhale. And then on your exhale, start to decline down. Once your exhale reaches the bottom, inhale to lift up. Just moving through this oscillating cobra. And exhale, decline down. Inhale, lift. Try not to push too much weight into the fingertips. Really use the backside body to lift. And then exhale, release down. Keep the legs nice and strong. Kneecaps pulling up the thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, chest rolls down. And once more, lift. On your inhale, start to float the feet, pressing the toes in towards one another. Lift a finger or two or another finger. How many fingers do we have left? Maybe one more. Float the hands. Send the hands back towards the hips, palms face down. Pull the shoulders down your back. Really squeeze those backside muscles. One more full inhalation here. And then exhale. Bring the hands down beneath the shoulders. Drop the tops of the feet down onto the ground. And then press back into a tabletop position to set up. Tabletop. And then once you're here, you have the hips stacked over the knees. Start to walk the hands forward, dropping the chest further towards the ground, and stop wherever you need. So this doesn't have to be a full extension or your full variation of puppy pose, but we're just trying to find a nice opening through the chest and shoulders. So your forehead can come down to the ground, or you can keep the gaze forward, bringing the chin towards the mat. And again, your chin does not have to reach the mat at this point. We're just opening up some more spaces within the body. And keep the breath alive. One more full inhalation and soft exhalation. And then start to work your way back up into that tabletop position. Tuck your toes under. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Move slowly. Slowly here today, there's no rush. Once you get to your down dog, start to pedal out the knees, wag the tail. Just any type of movement that you can explore here is good movement. And then come to your static down dog. Spread through the fingertips and press weight into the knuckles and into the index finger and the thumb. Really try and create a suction cup with the middle part of your hand lifting away from the ground. So you're pressing into the outer sides of your hands so that the middle part of your hand lifts up, protecting your wrists. Keep lifting the sits bones up towards the sky and allow the head to drop. Gaze is in between the legs, maybe even up towards the navel. And anchor your heels towards the ground. Feel for an opening along the back sides of your legs and calves. One more full inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Come high up onto the toes. And then shift the heels over towards the right. And then press the hips back, just to create more of a stretch along the left sides of the ribs and on the backs of the thighs. Perhaps more pulling along the left side of the back leg. Inhale to come high up onto the toes, and then exhale, heels over towards the left. Keep reaching the right shoulder back towards the right heel. Inhale, lift high up onto the toes, gaze comes forward, and then step forward, just little steps so that your feet come in between the hands, bend into the knees, and just fold here. Nice, easy forward fold, grab for opposite elbows. You can always interlace your fingers at the nape of your neck to feel more of a pulling sensation or a sensation to allow the upper body to feel heavy. And then on your inhale, drop the hands down towards the mat or bring the fingertips towards the shins, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Bend deeply into the knees and roll up. One vertebrae at a time, eventually meeting in a standing pose. And once you're to standing, bring the arms up overhead on your inhale. And then exhale, press the palms together, bring the hands down to heart center. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And soft exhale through the nose. If your feet are not already about hips width distance apart, bring them there now, maybe even a little bit wider here to start. And then create a nice soft bend in the knees, a nice supple bounce as you bend into the knees. And then bring the arms out and cactus them so that the wrists are stacked over the elbows. And here we're going to go for some twists and really focus on the exhales. So we're going to twist towards one side and exhale, and then twist towards the other side and exhale. The inhales will come automatically, and we're going to move quite quickly. So take a nice inhale through the nose, and then exhale over towards the left. And then exhale towards the right. And keep moving like this. Just focusing on the exhale, pressing the air through the nose, creating a nice soft bend in the knees, and twist from the low back. Feel the heat building within the body. About 10 more counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly start to release. Just allowing the release to be gentle. And then on your inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, your hands down to heart center. Feel just what those small movements or big movements, depending on what you're feeling, has done to the energy in the body, just shaking up maybe some stagnant energy from the week. Now we're going to go through a flow that's a little bit different than what we're used to. So we're actually going to be moving, flipping directions quite a few times. But I think you can stick with it. So feel don't be worried that you might be turning away from the camera or the video. Just try and move along to the cues that I say. Start to move your hands down towards the low back, fingertips face towards the hips. Soften the knees and take a deep inhale in, pushing the hips forward and lifting the gaze. Press the elbows in towards one another. Breathe into the chest. A couple more breaths. One more full inhale. And then on your exhale, dive forward, hinging at the hips. Forward fold. Hands come down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Start to step the left hip back, or the left foot back, so that you're in a runner's lunge. Adjust the fingertips so that they're in line with the right heel. Plant the left hand down. And then turn to both edges of your feet, the outside edge of your feet, and reach the right arm up overhead. Fingertips extended towards the front of your space, high horizon. And then on your exhale, bring the fingertips down towards the back of the room. Drop the hips down towards the mat. Inhale, lift up, reaching the hips towards the sky. Right fingertips towards the front of your space. And then exhale, low horizon. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, sink down. Moving with the breath, inhale, lift up. And then exhale, plant both hands down towards the mat. Turn both feet so that you're planted forward. And then start to move the hands over towards the left, grounding through both feet, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. And here, allow this movement to be organic. So your exhale brings you down, and inhale, push into the mat. Lift up like a half lift that we usually do with feet together. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. And then start to move your hands over towards the right. And then move your hands over towards the left, bending into one knee and then the other. Typically, the inhale drives you up, and the exhale brings you down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. And then when you're over on shifted weight onto the left foot, turn your feet or your toes towards the back of the room, coming high up onto the right toes. You're in a runner's lunge on your left side. Inhale, arms reach up. Find your crescent warrior or high lunge. Sink down through the hips. Feel for an opening along the front side of the right hip. Try and stack that left knee over the left ankle. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, cactus through the elbows. Reach the chest forward. Inhale, lift up, bringing the palms towards one another. And then exhale, plant the hands down into the mat. Step the left foot back into a high push-up plank position. And then drop the knees down into the mat. Stretch the palms forward, finding that puppy pose. Deep inhale, soft exhale. Start to bring the palms underneath the shoulders. Flip the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Gaze comes forward, and start to walk your feet forward towards the now front of your mat. Really, it's the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up into your mountain pose, arms reached up overhead. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale through the nose. Soft exhale through the nose. Bring the hands back behind you, pressing the palms into the low back. Bend into the knees, draw the elbows together, and lift the chest up. Gaze comes up. Couple of breaths here, just opening up through the chest. One more full inhalation. And exhale, start to fold forward. Hands drop towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time, step right foot back into a runner's lunge, and then plant the right palm down. Roll onto both edges of the feet and the left fingertips overhead. Hips are lifted here, high horizon. Breathe into that outer side of the left hip. And then on your exhale, reach the left fingertips towards the now back of the room, dropping through the hips. Inhale, reach the hand forward, lifting the hips. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips come down. Inhale, high horizon. And exhale, low horizon. Inhale to lift. Shift both toes towards the front of your space. And then over along towards the right side of the room. Come into that wide-legged forward fold. Stacking the hips so that they're in line with the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Find extension. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. Full exhale. And then start to move into one foot, bending into that knee, and then moving in towards the other side. Inhaling to switch. And then when you're on that right side, start to turn the toes forward. Create stability through the feet, spreading the toes. And then when you're ready, arms reach up, high lunge. Sink down into the hips. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, lift up through the crown of the head, keep the core engaged. On your exhale, cactus through the elbows, and maybe gaze shifts up. Press the backs of the hands towards the ground, inner elbows up. Deep inhale here, and then exhale. Straighten through the arms. Deep inhale before pressing the palms down towards the ground, lifting the right foot and finding high plank. Drop into the knees and walk the fingertips forward, finding that puppy pose. Deep inhale into the shoulders. And try and soften through the hips, pressing them further back towards the back of your space. Inhale to come up into a tabletop. And then exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Gaze forward, come high up onto the toes, and step or hop towards the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the palms down to heart center. Great soft breaths. Just notice the quality of breath, how it might have has changed since the beginning of class. Can you keep those long breaths strong and active? Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale to let it go. Now we're going to move through that sequence one more time, a little bit more fluidly now. So take an inhale to bring the hands to the low back, bend into the knees, gaze comes up. And then when your exhale arrives, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step the left foot back. Plant the left hand down. Come up into your high horizon, right fingertips overhead. Exhale, low horizon. Inhale, lift up. High horizon. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hips come down. And on your inhale, reach up. And then turn both toes towards the front of your space. And then do another quarter turn towards the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend forward through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Come over into your right foot. Bend into the right knee. Inhale, lift up. And bend into the left knee. Inhale, come up over towards the right. Your fingers can help you get there. Inhale, lift up. And exhale over towards the left. Once you're here, turn both toes towards the front of your space. Set up for that high lunge. Reach your arms up overhead on your inhale. Exhale, bend into the elbows. Reach your chest forward. And then straighten through the arms, palms face towards each other. And then bring the hands down, framing that left foot. Come into your high plank. Drop into the knees. Reach your fingertips forward, coming down into that puppy pose, chest towards the mat. One full inhalation and exhalation. And find that tabletop. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. One exhale here. Inhale to lift the heels, gaze forward, step or hop towards the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Standing. And exhale, hands come to heart center. On your inhale, bring the hands to the low back. One more inhale here. And then on your exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back. Oh, we already did that one. Actually, step your right foot back. Inhale, high horizon. Bringing the left fingertips towards the front of the room. And then exhale, drop the hips down, low horizon. Inhale, lift up. Move with the breath. Exhale, dip down. Inhale, reach up. Creating that rainbow or arc with the left fingertips. One more time, reach up. Lifting through the hips, turn both toes forward. And then both toes towards the right side. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale once more. Exhale, fold. Press weight into the left foot, bending into that left knee. Inhale and to press your way up, moving along to the right side. Inhale, lift up, come along to the left. Inhale, press up all the way to the right. And then frame that right foot. Set up for the high lunge. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Sink down in the hips. Cactus through the elbows. One more full inhalation. And then exhale, straighten through the arms. And then plant the hands down. Stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Drop into the knees. And then walk the fingertips forward. Find that puppy pose. We'll take one more full breath here. Just notice how the body's opened up since that first time we were here. And then start to make your way into a tabletop. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gaze comes forward, lift the heels, step or hop towards the front of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. Really nice. Drop your hands down by your hips. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then plant your hands or come up onto your fingertips so that they're directly underneath your shoulders. So we're in a halfway lift. It's okay if you have bent knees here. Sometimes we can't straighten our legs all the way, but that's all right. Shift weight into the toes so that you can stack the hips as much over the heels as you can. Plant weight into the right foot and then extend the left foot back. So we're in a supported warrior 3 pose. The left heel is extended directly out of that left hip, and take an internal rotation to the left hip so that the hips are in line with one another. If we were to create an external rotation, the left hip would be over the right, which we don't want that right now, which it is a pose actually. We're just trying to find a nice supported position here. The entire front side body facing down towards the mat. Take one more full inhale here to extend through the crown of the head. And then exhale, bring the left knee in towards the chest, around the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, pressing the left foot back behind you. Reach the collarbones forward, almost finding a cow pose. And then exhale, round the spine, find a variation of cat pose. Inhale to extend forward and reach back. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, really reach that left heel up into the glute. Inhale to reach forward and back. And then exhale, plant the left foot down to meet the right. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, planting those fingertips down into the mat. Also, if you're having some difficulty finding the mat with your hands, you can always place some books or yoga block or something to bring the floor to you underneath your hands so that it's a little bit more accessible. Shift weight into the left foot and then extend the right foot back. Finding that same variation of warrior 3. Really use the ground beneath you to pull your chest forward. Just like we were doing in Sphinx pose when we have our forearms pressing in towards the mat, and we're trying to pull the chest forward. Do the same thing here. Use that added tension beneath the fingertips. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Round the spine. Really get it up into the chest. Inhale for extension. Reach the collarbones forward. Maybe gaze shifts forward. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck the chin. Cat. Inhale to reach. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale to lift. Exhale, round. Inhale to extend. Exhale, bring the right foot down into the mat. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, start to shift or heel toe your feet outward towards the edges of your mat. Bend into your knees, sinking the hips low. And once you're here, bring the hands to heart center and press the elbows into the knees or inner thighs and give that same pressure back. Malasana or yogi squat. If you have any low back pain, this is a great pose to do every single day. We're opening up through the hips, taking pressure off the low back. One more full inhale here. And then exhale. Keep sitting down into the mat until you finally reach the mat with your seat. Bring your hips to the center of your mat lengthwise. And then start to straighten through the legs. Move away any flesh beneath the sits bones. Inhale your arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold. Wherever your hands meet the mat, use that tension beneath your fingertips or your palms to pull the chest forward. With every inhale, maybe the crown of the head moves forward towards the front of your space, and with every exhale, you move into the space that you just created within yourself. Inhale to reach forward, and exhale to sink deeper. One more full inhale, and then exhale, come all the way back up to center. Start to bend into the right knee, and bring the right sole of the foot to the inner, plant it onto the ground to the right of the left thigh. Bring your left palm out by the left hip to support you, and then reach the right arm forward, right shoulder on the inner side of the right knee. So reach the right palm forward like you're about to shake somebody's hand. Way out there, you really have to reach for it. And then exhale, turn the thumb down towards the ground and wrap the arm around the right leg, right shin, and then bend into the elbow. And here, try and just grab for your shirt or your pants on this right hip. And if you feel stable enough, then bring the left arm around your back and try and find for the right hand, or just hold on to whatever you can, your clothing, the pants. Try and get both hips to be on the ground level, as level as possible. And then tuck the chin, rounding the spine, trying to get the forehead to that left knee. Squeeze out front side body, elongating the mid back. One more full exhalation here. And then inhale, rise up, coming out exactly the way you came in, extending the right leg long, and then bending left knee, stacking it over the left ankle. Right hand comes out to the side for a little bit of stability here, and then reach the left arm on the inside of the left knee. Reach it forward. Really reach forward, getting the ribs to the inner thigh, and then wrap the left arm around, turning the left thumb down towards the mat, bending into the elbow and grabbing for your shirt. Or if you have enough space, you can grab for the right hand behind you. Take a full inhale here, And then exhale, really round the spine, tucking the chin. Press the left hip in towards the ground. Sometimes that likes to lift up. And then on your next inhale, unwind. Coming into our starting pose. Start to shift weight back, find a boat pose. Reach your arms out long, palms face up. A little bit of core work here to end class. Inhale, press your knees in towards your chest. Exhale, lower, lengthen, and hover. Inhale, knees into the chest. Exhale, lower, lengthen, and hover. Shoulders are lifted. Inhale, knees into the chest. Exhale, lower, lengthen. Keep the chest open though. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. 5 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Once more. Inhale, lift. Hold it here. And exhale, hover. And then drop down onto the back, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Circle the hips, or the knees rather, in circles. You can move the knees as one unit, circling over the hips. Or maybe you move the knees independently from one another, just moving the synovial fluid in the hips. And then really wrap the forearms around the shins as much as you can. Tuck the chin. Try and keep the hips down onto the mat and squeeze the knees into the chest. Give yourself a really big squeeze, keeping the back of the head down into the mat. Maybe one day the entire spine will be flat on the floor. One more good squeeze. Gaze down in between that triangle space between the arms and the legs, or maybe a diamond shape. And then release, bringing both knees or both legs straight. Finding your final Shavasana. Arms lay out long beside you, palms face up. Take an inhale through the nose. And open the mouth. Softly exhale out. Releasing all of your hard work and effort. Just letting whatever just happened, whatever your experience was, go. And just bask in this moment now. Allowing this new energy to settle into the new place in our body. while keeping the eyes closed. Start to bring yourself back into your space. Coming back from wherever you were. Start to wiggle through the toes and the fingers. Open and close the mouth and jaw. Just moving around the muscles on your face. And start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Just grabbing your shins beneath the knees with both hands. Start to bring the shoulders up off of the mat. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Reach the forehead towards the knees. Just squeezing yourself in a nice ball, counterbalancing the shift back by pressing the soles of the feet forward. Start to rock along the length of your spine. Just gentle rocks until you've had enough. Start to make your way into a seated pose. And keep the eyes closed or soft. Bring the hands to heart center. Notice how you feel. This not only means physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Hopefully this time of practice has opened up some energy blockages in the body, or redistributed some life. Remember that you can always pull out your mat or take some time to do some deep breathing to change your state of mind and to create more of an understanding for yourself so that we can hold the space and have more understanding and compassion for others as well. Bring the thumbs to your third eye center in between the eyebrows. And take an inhale here. And then exhale to let it go. Inhale once more through the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. Thank you so much for your movement and your breath. Namaste.